fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
And I am proud to be a member.
And I'm proud to serve in the United
States. And I am proud to protect our country.
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Are you a veteran who served offshore of the Republic of Vietnam between 1962 and 1975? Blue Water Navy veterans and their family members may now qualify for compensation and survivor benefits for health conditions linked to herbicide exposure such as Agent Orange. To learn more, call 1-800-749-8387 or go to va.gov and search Blue Water Navy. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John, powered by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub! Will it make me wet?
Yes.
Will it make me sweat?
Yes.
Thank you. Good God, it's Friday, man. Hey, I'm so happy that my main man is back in the studio. Jason, I've been doing this like 8 years now. I mean, remember we used to do it at your store?
We used to do it at the store. We used to do it down
there. J. Michael's.
J. Michael's with,
Bay Point Golf.
Right.
We've
been a little bit everywhere. It's been a wild ride.
It's been fun, baby. It's been fun. Jason, I've always threatened to together to pull out and do a political sports type deal. And, but I don't know. It's just hard to get away from this.
It is.
You got to give the people what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Hey, but I tell you right now, if Jason and I did that, people would go nuts. They'd love it.
Well, we wouldn't have a filter. We wouldn't be selling out our country, that's for sure.
Well, we couldn't do it on regular radio. You have to do it on, what's it called?
Podcast.
Yeah, those would be cool.
Where it's rated M for mature.
And we need
it'd be rated XR for us. I don't know.
I think we need a little bit more security, or at least somebody that goes out and starts our car in the morning for us. You know? The Clintons don't like when they talk bad about them.
Hey, now we've had Ryan Mulvey's with us this morning. Ryan, everything good?
Yeah.
Well, let's start out with this. Jason, I know we got a lot going on. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. I think you got some news. I don't know if you want to tell it now or not, but I guess hold off on that. But you're going to be somewhere this weekend. If we find out.
Yeah, I mean, Bay High's got a huge tournament, wrestling tournament, 32 teams from across the area and region. We're going to be out there sampling. These are some great athletes. If you love wrestling, and wrestling is one of the best sports you can possibly see in person, go out and support these guys. Come out and, stop by our booth, sample some great products. But should be a great weekend. It actually starts today. So there'll be people out there today. There'll be great matches going on today. So go out there. It's an exciting event. But we'll be out there Saturday sampling out products. So stop by our booth, say hey, and support these great local athletes.
I get stopped quite a bit and asked for my opinion about how can you help me get your kid a scholarship, what do you need to do, and like that. And I tell them what I think, but I can't help anymore. I'm not involved in that anymore. Jim, you're not involved anymore. We really can't help that way anymore. We can give our advice and give some a little bit of input.
Right.
But the best way is your own high school coach is who they need to be talking to. And I will tell every parent out there that's got a young, I don't care what the age, my granddaughter, when she gets a little bit older, I don't care what age group, what sport they're in. If you want an edge, you want to get a little bit of edge over the competition, go sit down and spend some time with Jason. He can help you with the diet. He can help you with the workout plan. Talk to a little about that. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand. The diet is highly important. Jason, it makes me sick. I see all these little kids, including my wife and my granddaughters, sugar. Right. And I worry about their health, the way they eat. And most of everybody in today's society, like poor Ron, the way he treats his kids, I don't think they've ever had a home meal. I mean, they're always out eating at restaurants.
I seen them play football. They're getting something done right. So.
I saw
Lucky Charms is now on the food pyramid, so that's
right. Glenn brings them donuts, I think, every morning, right?
Yeah, if you work at our golf shop, got Conrad, Bob Carey, Glenn. I mean, the amount of donuts coming through that place, you just got to have some self-discipline for sure.
And Conrad's having a procedure done pretty soon.
Yes.
Maybe that's the reason I'm kind of getting away from those donuts.
Yeah, he's gonna be out for a few few months, not playing
Yeah.
any golf.
Y'all
That's
pray
for
for him.
Hopefully that everything goes well with that.
Well,
But get back to that.
Yeah, exciting thing that we've done over the last 6 months is one of my employees, Darlene, and you've met her, just wonderful, knows a lot about sports nutrition. She's actually got certified through Lucha Sorelli to be able to do meal plans. And these meal plans are catered to your height, weight, body type, what your goals are. So they're specific to you. So whether you're an athlete or somebody that's sitting on the couch wants to lose 10 pounds for a wedding, we can cater a diet to tell you step by step what to eat, when to eat it, to be able to reach your goals. Then supplements come into effect where you can kind of accelerate that process. We also have the InBody 570 to track the results. So we give you the diet, the supplement package, and we do the InBody to show you that you're getting results, and you'll see it. So it's a scientific process, and it's catered to each individual person.
It seems like every time you're dealing with middle school, high school, they all want to gain weight. You can help them that way, but you can help them in a healthy way to do it,
Right,
instead of the wrong way to do it.
Well, the first thing, if you go to Alabama, if you go to Ohio State, if you go to Clemson, the first thing they do is they get you with the strength and conditioning coach and their nutritionist, and they basically tell you what your workout regimens are and your nutrition plan. And if you want to get to that level, the LeBron James, the Kobe Bryants, there's things that separate them differently than the rest of the NBA. They fine-tune their bodies. They have, chefs and nutritionists that write down everything they eat. Nothing's guesswork for them, and that's what we can provide for high school students and athletes that are trying to get to the next level.
When I used to work out after I'd quit playing and was coaching younger, when I'd lift weights, I wanted to eat a lot, and I would eat anything. I mean, not anything healthy, bad. And Jim will tell you. And then cholesterol went high, so then I had to cut back on certain things, and I just really wasn't educated the right way. Well, that's not true. I think I did know. But
you just didn't want to.
When Julie got cancer, I cut out all that bad food. Right. I couldn't believe it, how the weight just dropped off. And somebody else I know that used to weigh about 275, when he cut out the bad foods, it's amazing what he weighs. I don't want to embarrass anybody. If anybody's out there has been through this experience, have lost a lot of weight, we're going to talk about this right now, they can jump in.
That would be me. Well, no, after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, your regimen changes 100. Well, it doesn't have to, but if you're smart, it does. And my weight, this is the lowest I've weighed since my freshman year in college in 1974. And, being a coach, and this, the eating habits are awful. Your hours are extremely long. You get home, you
ain't get anything, yeah.
Yeah, you'll eat anything because you're so darn tired and hungry and that. Or you go to McDonald's or Wendy's or something and grab something on it. And it's just, and then if you're a sports fan like I am, you sit in front of the TV and all you do is grace, and just the chips and the sodas and the pizza and whatever else you can get your hands on. And I've cut all that out. I mean, I don't do that at all. I can't even tell you the last time I had a piece of pizza. I mean, years.
The worst thing for your body is sugar. I mean, high fructose corn syrup. And the sugar today is different than the sugar of, 20 years ago. We're not.
It's in everything. I didn't realize how much sugar's in milk. In milk.
It's in your hamburgers. It's in your chicken. If you go buy a chicken from Walmart, look on the side. It says high fructose corn syrup. That's why they taste so sweet. And that type of sugar, it breaks down so fast. If you're not in motion doing something, whatever you don't use is going to get stored into fat. And that causes a lot of health issues, causes, spikes in your blood pressure, can cause your glucose levels to be out of balance, like he's saying. So sugar is not good for you. And there's different types of carbs. There's complex carbs that break down really slow that your body's able to utilize. Those are more sweet potatoes, brown rice, oats, stuff like that. So we know the food side of it, and if somebody could take me back 20 years ago and taught me this 20 years ago, it would have changed my life forever. I probably would have made a professional sports league of some nature, but we didn't know about this, but now we know, and there's a system in place based on your height, weight, what your goals are, that we input this information into some software, and it tells us what to eat, when to eat it, how to eat it, and it takes all the guesswork out.
And that's what's so great about it. I keep telling it, if you want to get a little edge for your child, daughter or male, it doesn't matter whatever sport it is. If you're a little bit better athlete, a little bit better shape, you're going to do a little bit better every meet, every competition. Jason can do this for you. You can go down and sit with him. Do you guys – and I look at Ryan. Ryan's always – since I've known him now, he's always looked really good. He takes really good care of himself. His wife's the same way. His kids are in great shape. Have y'all always ate pretty well? I mean, you had to have to
we don't eat great, but we try to eat
not
better, I should say. Yeah. I mean, the kids get stuff that they shouldn't have every once in a while, but for the most part, we really try to focus on proteins and not a lot of sugars and stuff like that just because, it's just –
as your boy gets older, and daughter
Oh, yeah.
older, you're gonna be more and more with Jason.
Absolutely.
Now, there's some benefits to sugar, but that's the type of sugar.
Yeah.
Like the high fructose corn syrup not
That's
good.
horrible.
Your, unrefined sugars, the more type of brown sugars, your honey, molasses, stuff like that.
Well,
Those
like
are
your
actually natural
fruits
sweeteners.
too and stuff like that are
Fruits.
good. The kids
Yeah.
eat fruit like
Yeah.
crazy.
But your body actually metabolizes that. When you refine something down so far, you kill the digestive enzyme properties. There's no nutritional value to it. Like the high fructose corn syrup is very bad for your body. It's very damaging to, cholesterol levels. Overall heart issues. That's probably 90% of the health issues in the United States is due to sugar.
Yeah. And that's how stupid I've been. My mother diabetic, my brother diabetic, both his sons diabetic. My sister nothing. She's more after my pop. So far, I'm right now borderline. I'm really getting over the edge. But he would tell you. I remember one of my assistant coaches would bring in before a game. We never let the kids go home. We go eat a pregame meal and they stay with us the entire time. Dr. Pepper, big old bag of M&Ms. That was my pregame meal.
Right.
I mean, that's.
But what's scary is 20 years ago, you could eat that and not feel like you were going to have a stroke or a heart attack. The type of sugar they're using, what they're putting in food nowadays is completely different.
Yeah.
It's
Completely
all on
different.
purpose. They're
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to make you
Well,
unhealthy.
you get addicted to it. You have some of it. You want more and more and more. It's
Remember,
crazy.
20 years ago, I used to go get a chicken McNugget from McDonald's. It was actually chicken. That's not
Yeah.
chicken what they're serving in this day and
Do you,
age.
what down to your store? Like you get up somebody on a workout, get these athletes lifting a certain way, work their work. We worked the crap out of our kids at Arnold. There's no doubt about it. They'll tell you. Especially we won all the state championships in
Right.
weightlifting. Do you have things they could eat? Like even us, instead of you sitting there eating a bag of chips watching the Alabama game, y'all have things down there you can eat that's actually healthy for you.
Oh, absolutely. We got some, protein bars that taste like candy bars that have, high protein. They use better carbs in it, like honey molasses. We have, these cheese puffs that actually taste really like cheese puffs that are more protein, so they don't have a lot of sugar or carbs in them. So we also have like healthy protein popcorns. We have pancakes. So it's a whole.
you have pancakes
Oh
down
yeah,
there?
yeah. There's a whole different level of food and supplements out there that people really don't realize. If you haven't been into a supplement store in 10, 15 years, stop in MaxFit. We do have free samples. You're not obligated to buy anything. You can talk one of our experienced members in sports nutrition and just get an idea. You don't have to spend any money, but just come and sample some products. It's a whole new world out
You
there.
just got to make the effort yourself to
Right.
go find these things.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. It's
Yeah.
like you have to make an effort to make it happen.
If you have that drive and you have the willingness to do what's necessary, we can lead you in the right direction and get you results.
Yeah, it goes back to everything, every phase of your life. It's self-discipline, doing the right thing. Yeah, that's just the bottom line. We all have choices to make, and sometimes we make the right ones, sometimes we don't.
And I love doing this. I think there's no better thing to help somebody feel better about themselves and look in the mirror and love what they see. Because we all look in the mirror and be like, "Whoa, I don't like that part, that part."
Right.
We're
When
our
you
own-
walked in, I saw a couple things.
that's why you're my mentor.
Yeah. Well, we go to Jason's. I'll take my shirt off and pose, and then he gets a little intimidated. But after a
and
while,
then all
I
these
think-
people start coming into the store real
Yeah,
fast.
well, yeah.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick them out there with one of them spinny signs like Hungry Howie's. And
Just put a cutout out front.
Hey, now listen, Gulf Coast Sports home. Wait a minute. Let me get this back. We will be having the Super Bowl right here on ESPN North
nice.
104.3.
San
Excited about
Francisco, I'm
that.
calling it right now.
I think it's going to be the Eagles. Who's it going to be? It's
San
going to be
Fran,
49ers and who else?
I like Niners Bengals. I hope it's not Niners
I would
Chiefs.
like that. I would like to see
I'm worried
that.
about my Bengals. 3 offensive linemen
Yeah, it's
down.
gonna be-
If that wasn't the case, I had them beating Buffalo. It's going to be tough.
That's right.
Well,
Joe
hey,
Cool though.
We're
I
going
know.
to you got all. You want to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about this later?
I can talk about this.
Just
till
real
cows come
quick.
home.
We'll get back into it real quick. What do you think about the Eagles this week against Giants?
I think the Giants got a shot to beat them.
I do too. I think the Eagles have played extremely well throughout the regular season, but this is playoff football. We're really going to see how good they are. They were fading a little bit down the stretch. Jalen had some injuries, but
Yeah, his shoulder got hurt. They
Well,
haven't
yeah.
played a game yet. The Giants played a really good game against a terrible Minnesota defense.
and Daniel
Does it
Jones
help
playing.
you to have a week off or not? I don't. Sometimes when we were good. I didn't want.
I don't know.
Just keep
Injury
playing,
wise,
keep playing.
yes. Staying in
them
the
up.
I don't like
I mean,
the week.
so, I don't know. It's
I
just-
think it depends on the team. If you have a
Yeah.
lot of injuries, guys that are maybe 80, 90%, you can get an extra week and rest them, and it's a professional team, that's one thing. If you got a young team that's firing on all cylinders, you want to get out
that's
there and
what-
play.
Jim, that's like when we were doing it. We had the teams. They were really good. I didn't like that one week. It seemed like it took the fire off them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like you. I don't know how much real benefit there is to the week off for what everybody just said there. Injuries wise, yeah, but other than that,
you might get somebody back, get somebody to rest. I don't know. College basketball, you can listen right here on ESPN Northwest Florida, and we got Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. Man, you listen to all right here on ESPN 104.3, and also the weather. You know, we talk about the weather ourselves, and you also throughout the day you can listen to it right here on 104.3 ESPN. So I got these notes they give me to do, and I forget to do them half the time. All right, let's talk about J. Michael's Restaurant today. I've seen you. Ryan loves it. I've seen Beth and them down there. The crisp fish, outstanding.
Oh, it's fantastic. Sorry. I was talking to a bunch of guys were talking about the games last night in Facebook Messenger. So
thank you, Ryan.
I actually the shrimp J. Michael is my favorite.
Oh my God.
It's fantastic.
Have you ever just got to tell them you just want the shrimp basket, nothing else? It's a little bit cheaper. And
I stay away from that fried
how
shrimp.
he knows right there.
It's a little fried shrimp.
I stay away from fried stuff.
That's really nice to get. I don't get the French fries on it.
Yeah.
But the best fried shrimp you'll get anywhere in the United States of America is at J. Michael's Restaurant. I don't know what it's the seasoning. It's the way he does it.
It's all his secret
Really
recipes.
good.
It's fantastic.
He won't tell you anything either. Yeah, J. Michael's
Smart man.
today. Crisp fish today. Grilled fish, peppers and onions. They have special sauce. Really good. Go try it. I think you'll love it. Stevenson Air Conditioning. We don't care what the weather's like outside. Cold, hot, doesn't matter. You got Stevenson Air Conditioning. You're fine. You're in great shape. You want to get serviced about every 6 months. Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason, nothing but a winner. Chuck Tucker, love you, brothers. South Oak, Title and Closing. The big time realtors. The great ones. The Beth Mulvey, Mark Coward. They all use Chuck Tucker. South Oak, Title and Closing. Buffalo Rock, all the great things you've done for Bay County students. We certainly appreciate it. Make sure you appreciate them. Purchase Buffalo Rock products. We'll be right back. Ryan Moby, Jim Brandt, Jason Kovaleski, and Big John back there sticking that thumb up. Oh, that wasn't a thumb. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
We've moved. ESPN Northwest Florida offices are now on the beach. Our doors are always open, and we still love visitors. Come see the new ESPN Northwest Florida radio studio and offices at 204 Suite B Ellen Lane on Panama City Beach. We can't wait to see you. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting partly to mostly sunny skies today. Mid to upper 60s. Thickening cloudiness overnight around 50. A weather front coming in for the weekend. That weather front will stall, giving us cloud showers, maybe a thunderstorm over the weekend in the 60s to near 70 Saturday and Sunday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
My name is Tim Lyrig, published author of Simplifying Food and Wine Pairings. Wine isn't just my passion, it's my career. I hold several wine certifications and am a member of the American Wine Society. How does that help you? For restaurants and wine bars, it means I can hold wine tastings, train your staff on food and wine pairings, and more. My services are available for events of any size. Call me, Tim Lywig, wine consultant, at 407-279-2112.
If you didn't receive those special gifts Santa promised you this Christmas, you know those boots and shirts with all the accessories? Well, it's never too late to shop that boot store. The rack after rack of famous name brands, including Carhartt work clothes, awaiting your shopping pleasures. You haven't shopped for Western wear until you shop that boot store, offering a lot more than boots. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your heart. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30, next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy. I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending.
Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, we talked about Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Now let's talk about Bay Point Golf. Well, everybody, hey, listen.
I don't have an answer
we
yet.
wanna
Don't
know-
even ask.
I get asked all the time, when's he bringing it back? I said, I'm trying. I do everything I can to get him to do it. What's the deal? Put the pressure on you.
It's going to be by the end of February. We're actually going to, in February, we're going to slim down our Thursday night dinners and just go to 2 a month instead of 4. So that'll open up an opportunity to do bingo or trivia. So we're working on that.
Okay, and will you be calling the numbers, or will someone else be doing it?
I would. The ladies get mad at me because they say I go too fast. But if you go to a real bingo hall, it's like a whole different ball game. But yeah, he heckles. Christina Pettis, she heckles like crazy. But yeah, no, it's fun.
About the numbers are right above his head. I mean, you can look. Okay, in 30.
You got to make the effort, though. You got to make the effort to see. But
Well,
yeah,
you know what? The ones that mainly complain, I'll be honest with you, the ones that have multiple cards.
Yeah.
And they want to. They take it. Do they not take it
Oh,
seriously?
they take it super serious.
I mean, it's crazy, man.
That's why I'm nervous when I'm up there. I'm like, one of these ladies going to come up and stab me with a pen.
When they walk in, all the women loving, good looking. Oh yeah,
Yeah, then once those numbers start going, everything changes.
Yeah.
Hurry up, slow down.
I liked it when you had your son and daughter in there and Beth. I like it when your whole family's there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they like
to
to
run.
run.
But still tied into the dinner we can
Yeah,
eat and play.
yeah. Otherwise, if we do it, there's from a business standpoint, there's no point for
Right,
us to do it if we
right.
don't include a dinner, because then we're just kind of wasting payroll dollars. But
We're gonna get. We all got to come. The next one we have it.
I'll come this time.
Yeah, it's fun. We have a blast. I mean, I'm telling you.
I got to give a shout out to our culinary team last night. We had Italian night, and we
saw.
mixed it up, and they did a live action pasta station where you could choose your pasta, choose your sauce, choose your protein, and then they cooked it all right there in front of you. So
You saw that on Facebook? They
Yeah.
had it on Facebook. That was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I posted that, so yeah, I saw it.
Were you there by yourself, or you have your kids?
No, people send me videos.
Oh.
We got a good group. It's all about content creators. So
How's the golf course looking? Everything good?
Golf course is looking fantastic. We just had another interclub match yesterday. The weather's been great. Ethan's playing out there this morning at 8:30. But yeah, I've always forget to give a shout out to Jay Henley. He's our teaching professional out there.
Jay's great.
So if you ever need any lessons, he does tons of junior clinics, junior camps. He's about to do a drive, chip, and putt junior camp coming up here in the next couple months. He's doing a Valentine's Day thing if you're looking to save some money and do a couples golf lesson kind of thing. But big shout out to him.
Nice.
He is a fantastic teacher. He's one of the best in the Southeast. We're very lucky to have him.
Don't know how much
You know what,
the wife would like that. But
You guys ought to get together. That little package you have for Valentine's. I forgot what they look like, little red candy. Anyway, you ought to get together and have a little Valentine's.
I actually
thing.
went out there and saw him the other day. I got my mom 2 rounds for her birthday.
Oh,
She's
good.
starting to play golf
Good, good.
again.
You got
with
to
my
see
nephew.
the cloth firsthand.
Yeah.
Did you call and ask me about that?
Yeah. Well, I messaged you.
I'm
about
sorry
it.
to get back with you.
No. Well, I told you I was just going to come to your house and throw one out your back door onto the fairway.
I saw a bill. It said, pay Jason. Okay, I'll take care of it.
It was on a rise stamped on your door.
Did you take care of him?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
Good,
Absolutely.
good. If you didn't, I was going to have to. So now that you told me you did, good. All right, let's get something happened. I was listening about. I don't know, guys. College football, sports in general is changing. The newest thing now, California has put in a bill in the state of California. All athletes they want profit sharing, revenue sharing. So Southern Cal is a private university, correct?
Yes, correct.
So I'm curious to how that will come into effect. But anyway, and they're also leaving that Pac-12 going to be playing half their ball games will be played in a different. All athletics now, we're talking all athletics. Half their games are going to be played out of the state of California in the Big Ten. They won't be in the Pac-12. I don't know if that's going to have any bearing on anything or not. So UCLA and Southern Cal, I'm curious to see how that works out. But when we let politicians get involved in anything, you're done. You're screwed. The greatest thing Reagan said one time, the 9 worst, I can't remember the 9 worst, 6 worst words ever. The government's here to help you.
Right.
He said that's the worst thing.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Yeah, that's the worst thing that happened. So what do you guys input on that? But then, you know what though? In some ways, they can control this jumping from school to school, the transfer deal, because if they're employees, it's going to be an annual contract. I'm sure it's not going to be a 4-year deal. It'll have to be an annual contract.
Right.
And really, if the coach did a poor job in evaluation, they'll have a way to document things to get rid of that player. And the player's not going to be able to jump around like you see now. I think they're ruining college football, this transfer deal. Ole Miss, they got 3 of the best quarterbacks out there all coming to the same school. The one guy that was there, guess what? Now I'm transferring out.
Right.
So I'll get into that a little bit later. But what's your thoughts on this? Revenue sharing, them getting – and I'm telling you one thing it's going to affect. You're not going to see these unbelievable standalone football facilities They're not going to be able to pay their staff and have a huge staff like they've done in the past. They're going to probably model everything off the NFL, which is not a bad thing. They only make about $10 billion a year, so it's not a bad thing. But I don't know. I don't want the government to get involved in anything. I don't like the force these guys that, but I do want the players to be taken care of. There's positive and negatives. At first, I was like, I don't like this at all. And then I kind of started thinking maybe some of it could be bad. What y'all thought on it?
My initial thought is I don't know if any of this is fixable because, like you said, and everybody looks at the landscape of college football today with the NIL transfer and all this and think, oh, these people are stupid. They don't know what they're doing. This was all planned, in my opinion. They want the government to come in. They want to set up labor unions. They're going to eventually have contracts with the schools. Because if you look at the college football now, the differences between the free agency in college football and in the NFL, there's contractual agreements in the NFL. There's guys on contract for 3 to 4 years. They can't leave. The teams have the rights to control them as long as they pay them and they don't cut them. That's not happening in college football. You had a kid get a $13 million offer from the University of Florida to sign. They reneged. He said goodbye. I mean, he could go get $13 million from another school. There's no contractual obligation.
And they destroy themselves in recruiting.
And they're going to
wait and see.
Oh, it's going to destroy college football. But what's going to happen, like you're saying, is the government's going to come in. They're going to set up labor unions. They're going to set up structure. They're going to steal their 20% of their own.
Get their tax money.
And it's probably going to ruin college football. I mean, now – the whole thing with NIL, this is not what NIL was supposed to be used for. NIL was for the superstar quarterback that, can use his name and profit off of it. Companies were using his name, like EA Sports. The colleges were selling his jerseys. He wasn't getting a percentage of that. That's not what NIL is being used for. NIL is being used to induce recruits to say, hey, if you come to Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, whatever, we're going to give you $10 million a year or whatever, $10 million up front, $2 million a year over 4 years to come and play for us. That's not what NIL was for. And it's under the rule of law, it's illegal to be doing it right now. So the problem is the NCAA is so corrupt. They're so inept. It's just a wild, wild west, and they're going to allow the government to come in and take over. It's the end game.
Ryan, what's your thought? What's your take on it? I mean, what is? Do you anybody know what the revenue sharing with the NFL players? I don't know what percentage that is. It 50-50?
I think it's 50-50 on the new television contracts. I know the NBA did that. That's why you have bench players making $100 million contracts in the NBA. I mean, these guys are getting big-time money, and good for them. If they're bringing in the money, the owners are billionaires. Making 50% of the revenue is smart, but giving your employees 50% of that is smart as well.
Well, and their pensions, too, are pretty fantastic once they, 4 or 5 years? Something
5 years.
5 years NFL.
5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, and I think when it gets better is when it switches to that NFL style where you've got contracts, you've got the Super League that you guys have been talking about for years. It's going to have to go to that because there has to be some kind of control. Now, the government getting involved, that's a whole other ballgame. This California thing, California always seems to do crazy stuff. Right. It's a bill that still has to pass. That could affect a lot of these California schools, I think, in a negative way. But something's going to have to give in the next 2 or 3 years to regain control of what's just gone crazy in college football.
I think the one thing we've learned is the rest of the conferences are not going to follow the Pac-12 if they don't agree with it. The Pac-12 does stuff completely different. They're not really a football conference. I do not see the SEC, Big Ten looking at this and be like, yeah, we want to do that. Let's join them. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
but
pay attention.
We have to wait for it to play out. We don't really know what the ins and outs is going to be or the fallout. It just seems they do stuff backwards out there. And politics runs the show. It has nothing to do with football 90% of the time.
I'm kind of like what Ryan said. Just because they proposed it doesn't mean it's going to get passed.
We're talking about California.
Yeah, California, yeah.
They'll just rig the vote if they really want it.
Yeah, California
How bad they want it.
kind of does things crazy. I mean, my sister lives out there. How much you pay for gas? Oh, $5.99. It's like, okay. So
why do you think half of them are here in Florida now?
Right.
Yeah, and Texas.
So I don't know what's going to come to it. It's a crazy world, though.
All right.
No question.
If there's a way, and I still think it's true. There's some things that are not taxed. Matter of fact, you get tax breakup. I can give you this big time money to these universities, stuff like that. But you got to be careful what you go and ask for, because if you want their help and they can figure out the way they can see where they can get money, the government can get money, they're going to force it down. It's going to be bad. And I think there's ways now they're not getting a lot of tax revenue off certain things. And I don't want to get too much in that, but you just got to be careful. I mean, in some ways, I think they should pay. The university should be able to hire. SEC. I'm going to focus on the SEC. I think the SEC has got the second biggest contract. The Big Ten's got the best. So if we go to paying schools, all of a sudden now the Big Ten's going to have the best opportunity to get the best players, because why would I go? And I'm talking about across the board. Why don't I want to go play baseball at Vandy? Why don't I want to go play basketball at Vandy? I can go to a Big Ten. I can go to Northwestern, who's not very good right now. Maryland, something. Iowa's pretty good. Iowa. I can go to Iowa. Well, Iowa's usually pretty good.
Right.
But I can go to a lower level.
Indiana.
Indiana. I go to Indiana. Dang, I'm gonna make $25,000 more. I'm gonna go. If you tell a kid you're gonna make $50,000 more to come play here than play there, where are they gonna go? They're gonna go with the money like they're doing now.
Right.
And there's only so many roster spots on every team too, as well. So
where you got 25 scholarships a year.
That's where you seeing these people move around for the more money and stuff like
that. You're gonna have 85 paychecks to pay people a year.
I think the roster's going to go down, though. They're not going to want to pay 85 kids. There's so many marginal players on there that transfer out anyway.
But what I'm saying is they're going to have the advantage with big-time, like the NFL and NBA. They're going to have that big-time billions of dollars of TV money.
If your
revenue
sharing share is bigger, you have more money to pay the players. You're going to attract the best players, and that's what the SEC's done over the last 20 years with their NIL collectives that were.
We were the best than anybody in the country for years.
Yeah, well, you paid the most.
NIL.
But
we got away with it.
I'm sad about this. I never wanted to see college football turn into a minor league system. It's exactly where it's going. You lose the passion.
Hold your thoughts right there. We'll come back. I didn't either. It used to be an amateur sport.
Right.
And obviously it's not an amateur anymore.
It was a public amateur sport.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes it wasn't.
I tell you what, I can say great things about Dr. Chad Mitchell. I was in bad shape. Went to him yesterday. I was there for quite a while, and they took care of me. Thank you, Chad, for everything. Appreciate all you people work down there. Also, Johnny Gray, I want to give a shout out to him. He took care of me yesterday. I had so many dang needles in my back and butt and everything else. But I tell you what, they knew what they were doing, and it worked out pretty good. Feeling better today. El Rodeo Tequila Bar Grill. You want to go and have a wonderful time, especially this Sunday. They're going to have a lot of people down there Sunday watching the playoffs. Their game's also on Saturday. $5 pitchers. You buy a drink, get one free. Small house wine, margarita, and beer. You can't beat that. The food's incredible. Great atmosphere. TV's everywhere. Get in there, El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Watch all these playoff games. Bay Point Golf. You love golf. It's only one place you're going to go. That is Bay Point. Great to hear that Rudy's is down there playing golf at Bay Point. Mr. Rudy, and we're talking about Ethan Boyd, does an incredible job at Rudy's Barbecue. If you want to have a party, a get-together, anything like that, they've got their Lorelei and Leighton room in the back. You can do it there. It's incredible. 350-seat facility, brand new TVs everywhere. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Rudy's Barbecue. We'll be right back. Ethan Boyd down at Bay Point Golf. Go ahead and join him down there. Ryan Movie's in the house. Jason Kovaleski's finally back in. Ratings are going through the roof right now. I got to see all these posts on Ooh, that's kind of. They shouldn't say that.
That live show viewership goes through the roof
when he's in the corner. It's that body. It's his body. Anybody notice he wears those tight blue jeans, and he wears those tight shirts.
Well, when you're as big as he is, everything's tight.
No, that's true. That's true. What are you wearing?
Not that.
We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Who owns the team? So Sean was on the show this Monday and talked about the things that are at play when you're considering coaching a football team.
If the quarterback is there, they're probably a team that's playing well. The teams that have openings, I'm not going to say are broken, but they've had problems.
Ownership is really, really crucial.
The Herd, weekdays 11 to 2 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Sometimes having a reservation really makes your whole experience better. It's so nice to know you'll get what you like. And if you need help, it's right here. Just like at Panama City Toyota, where you can reserve your new vehicle online in about 5 minutes. Pick your model, color, and preferred options, and we'll get to work finding your best match. Thank you so much.
Of course, we're always here to help.
Reserve your new Toyota online at Panama City Toyota.
Krispy Kreme presents something new. For a limited time, get the Biscoff Lover's Dozen. This includes 3 each of their Biscoff Ice Donut, Biscoff Cookie Butter Cream-Filled Donut, Biscoff Cookie Butter Cheesecake, and the original Glazed Donut. For a limited time at Krispy Kreme Donuts.
With 2 locations.
Next to Gulf Coast Hospital on 23rd Street in Panama City and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
I'd like to introduce.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
Milk was a bad choice.
If I could just have your attention.
60% of the time, it works every time.
If anyone wants to switch jobs, let me know.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
I have many leather-bound books.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're caught in a trap.
Do it, Elvis. Is that the song you wrote?
It is.
His last big hit. Go look at the thing, Jim Brandt.
The credits, yeah.
I think we got an unbelievable crawler right now. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Crawler.
Morning, Coach. How are you this morning?
I couldn't be better. Is this Rob?
This is Rob.
It sounds
How
just
are
like
you?
Rob.
This is me.
Is
me
it
and-
Rob?
me and-
I can't.
me
Is
and-
this Rob?
Me in all my glory.
Rob, is this you?
This is me. This is Rob.
Can y'all?
As some people call me, as some people like Eddie call me FSU Rob because we call him Michigan Eddie. Hey, look, I was gonna do this. I said, we want to be a fair and balanced program, right?
Right.
Don't you want to be fair and balanced?
Yes, sir.
And I think the reason that Eddie calls in and he's upset, he calls in during the FSU and the Alabama and the Auburn segment and wants to call in during the Florida day. Well, because Florida gets the whole day. But, it's because we don't have a Michigan segment. So I think we need to start a Michigan segment.
No, we don't.
So
There you go.
okay. Well, I think that lets us know.
There you go. That sounds good. That's perfect, brother. No.
We're fair and balanced, and we give Michigan their due.
There you go, brother. I tell you what, though, I kind of, being fair and balanced, I kind of think some of the big-time brothers are trying to jump on Michigan right now because it's recruiting season. They've gone after him. All of a sudden, you see all these articles he's leaving. He's going to take this job. He's going to take that job. How that got out there, who knows? And then the assistant coach being investigated, which probably is not a big deal. If it's something bad, you would think they'd already broke the news if it was something illegal. So,
well, I'm sure there's people that are Ohio State people and Penn State people that are pushing that narrative. I mean, it's just like anytime a nibble gets out there about any other university, everybody else is going to pile on and try and make it a mountain out of an anthill.
Tommy Santamont yesterday,
and make it a lot worse than what it is. But
no,
we never know.
Let me hit this, Rob. Tommy Santamont yesterday. Y'all know how fair and balanced, great man he is. He started jumping on the Florida Gators already about the quarterback situation. Jason and I hit it this morning. That's going to kill them in recruiting.
Yeah.
It really is. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I was going to say the Big Ten fans I know support Harbaugh in this investigation, but not the computer stuff. We don't really know what that's about. But for the NCAA to go after Jim Harbaugh for buying 2 recruits lunches when you got NILs giving $13 million up front to kids and all this other things is just laughable. And this is what we complain about every year about the landscape of college football. It's not fair. It is rigged. I mean, you have the influence of ESPN. You buy recruits. Been doing it for 20 years. Now you have this investigation going on that is completely fraudulent. and you're talking about a coach buying 2 kids a meal, and they're going after him and trying to suspend him for 4 games. I mean, you just had Tennessee giving out bags of cash to recruits. You had LSU laundering money from cancer patients and feeding it to recruits, and we have to sit here and watch this. I think the Big Ten's united on this. I think eventually we're just going to break away from the NCAA, and if you guys want to continue as is, buying recruits, paying the NCAA to go after everybody else but yourself, just play yourself, cheat each other, let the rest of us go. We'll have our own conference. We'll do our own thing. But the NCAA and the SEC right now, it's just dirty football. And not many people outside the region have respect for it, to be honest, because we're using water guns. We're getting attacked for buying recruits hamburgers while you're giving out bags of cash. I mean, it's laughable.
Well, it's always been no common sense with what the NCAA wants to come down on people hard for. Like you said, you see an athlete that's walking down the street in the middle of a lightning storm and it pouring down rain, you stop them off from a ride, you're breaking rules.
Right.
That's ridiculous. That's excuse the word, that's asinine and ridiculous.
All right, here we got a situation with Jeremy Pruitt. I think Alabama, all the fans want him back to be the defensive coordinator. How long ago now did he get in trouble for giving those kids that money? 2 or 3 years?
I think 2 years.
All right, how come they could come on Harbaugh so quickly? And they're going to suspend him?
He just said it.
I know.
The bias. The SEC does what they want.
In
the Big Ten does it. They get in trouble.
2 playoffs in a row. He's a threat. I mean, explain it. Explain it any other way.
It's unexplainable besides that.
And they hadn't done anything to Jeremy yet, and it's screwing up Alabama because we don't know.
They hadn't done anything to LSU.
LSU should be on the death penalty for what they did. They had Will Wade on HBO on an FBI investigation offering every kid $60,000, and they fired him. The fans got pissed off, and they rehired him because of that, and nothing's been done. And that's because the head of the NCAA is the chancellor of LSU. It's
listen, hey, guys, if you go back and listen what happened, what did Harbaugh do before the beginning of the year? He offered that any of his athletes or any athlete at the School of Michigan, that if they got into trouble with the female or whatever, and instead of having an abortion, that his family would adopt that child.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do y'all remember that?
Yeah, he's a pro-life guy.
Exactly.
And they hate him up there.
So why do y'all think that he is catching flack from every angle right now?
That's a good point right there.
Yeah, it really is, because including his own school, because that is a more liberal campus. And
Michigan's always been a liberal.
Very progressive. Very progressive.
Hey, Rob, honest to God, I didn't think about that angle. I think you hit something there.
Right. That's the only reason why I think he's getting it from all angles and every aspect that can possibly be.
It's just a strange situation. For me, the Big Ten's asleep at the wheel here. I mean, why would I let a governing body dish out such uneven punishments for crimes? I mean, you got
go back to Tressel and all the guys.
Yeah, they
their
traded their own stuff for tattoos.
Amen.
They got a bowl ban out of that. Like, you got to be joking.
Jeremy Pruitt's handing out money left and right, and nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean,
well, Tressel lost his job. I mean, he sure hadn't done anything.
He got a 5-year show cause from the NFL where he was not allowed to coach in the NFL for 5 years because of that investigation. Talk about a joke.
Over students, over something he could not control whatsoever.
Not only that, this was their own possessions. So if Ohio State was out there handing out, tens of thousands of dollars in checks, these guys wouldn't need to take their rewards and their memorabilia and trade it for tattoos and trinkets. They'd have all the cash they needed, I mean, the investigation went on for, 6 months. ESPN set up on our campus, and they couldn't find anything other than they traded their own stuff for tattoos, and some of it was for weed, let's be honest. The whole reason this got investigated because the FBI was looking at this guy for drug trafficking. That's how it got all messed up, and that's how Ohio State, eventually got into this mess. But when you look at the other things that have gone on, especially in some of these SEC schools that have been looked the other way.
All right, I want to take it for Alabama. I want to be. If Haven wants to hire Jeremy Pruitt, I hope he just does it and says the heck with the NCAA and everybody else. I hope he does. Hugh Freeze, and I hope he does a great job. I love Auburn. Ryan, I'm just telling you my thoughts. He got in trouble. They were getting kids. I heard all kind of stories back when this was going on, getting these players at Ole Miss, and he did his time.
Yes,
they gave him another opportunity. He's back in coaching. Back in the SEC at Auburn as a head coach. Jeremy gave away a little bit amount of money in a McDonald's bag, and we're going to forgive one. We're not going to forgive the other.
Well, if this would have happened in the Big Ten, they'd be banned for life.
I know. We would have had a 5-year shown cause.
Well, that's okay. That's helping us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I ain't worried about the Big Ten. I can care less about the Big Ten. I'm talking about the SEC.
That's the problem.
I'm the balance between the SEC and the Big Ten.
It just means more.
It just means more.
But see, that's the problem with college football today. I mean, there's a section of college football in a conference that's allowed to do whatever they want.
With no repercussions.
You pay officials, you pay recruits, you have the influence of, ESPN, and then you beat us by 1 point. You pound your chest, SEC, and you root for all 13 teams.
Can we all do it together? That made me feel good. Can we all do it together? SEC.
I got to go, guys.
Thank you.
And look, I
think Rob said he's got to go.
Rob, you got to go. You caused the fight in here, and you're leaving.
Coach Hale baited me into this. He's been wanting me to come on for 3 weeks to say something after the Ohio State
That's good
game.
stuff. But no, I'm serious about. Oh, we got to take a break. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. No, but
man, we were just catching some steam
there. I
there.
really think Jeremy Pruitt should be allowed to come back. I do. I don't care what y'all did in the Big Ten. I'm worried about what's going on.
I don't have a problem with it. The only thing I have a problem with is divvy out the punishments equally. There has to be a structure. There has to be
They
even.
don't.
I know
They
don't.
never have.
Trust me, it's been 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Since
They're not
Miles
gonna-
Brand
Like you
died.
said, the
You
Big
think-
Ten kind of is asleep at the wheel because
absolutely.
you
You
feel
remember
like they
back-
could get together and make some stuff happen.
You remember back when Bama got in really big trouble with the Albert Means?
Again.
300. This was a long time ago. 300,000 they were giving him. This
Yeah.
was a long time ago. SMU was not a big name.
Right.
They give them the death penalty. You think they're not going to give Alabama the death penalty?
They
They're
can't
not
give
gonna
anybody the
LSU
death
the
penalty
It makes
anymore.
too much money for the league and for TV stations and everybody else. The most two teams watched on college football every year is Ohio State and Alabama.
Right.
Go
and
look it
Michigan.
up. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Turf Pro. You want that yard to look brand new, look like a doggone football field. Turf Pro Pest Control can get it done. They're all throughout Bay Point. Patrick does a great job. Give him a call. He'll come out and solve all problems. I guarantee you that. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, 3 restaurants to 1. The best pizza. The bakery's incredible. Matter of fact, Phil and I were there yesterday.
Talking about those carbs.
Those carbs. Yeah, we're
Not the
putting away
good
those
carbs.
Yeah.
The simple carbs, not the
Yeah,
complex
I didn't
ones.
have. I promise you, I was hurting. I didn't eat any sweets. I just ate one little small piece of pizza. It was good. It was really good. Phil ate a lot. It felt like a pig after that. Get out to Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. You'll love it. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Dr. Ward, the legendary Dr. Ward, does an incredible job. If you're listening right now in Northwest Florida, there's an office near you. 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, go see Dr. Ward. Do not put it off. 5 minutes can save your life. We'll be right back. Let's talk about a little bit of golf. The cheaters in golf. I've heard Big Ten are cheating big time up there. Let's get into that. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdog.
Hi, this is Todd Mueller from PCB Coins and Cards. Join me on the Afternoon Underdogs Mondays at 4:20. We'll discuss rare coins and currency, hard-to-find trading cards, sports memorabilia, and the amazing stories behind them all. Plus, you can call in with your questions at 850-215-6290. The Afternoon Underdogs, live and local on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting partly to mostly sunny skies today, mid to upper 60s, thickening cloudiness overnight around 50. A weather front coming in for the weekend. That weather front will stall, giving us cloud showers, maybe a thunderstorm over the weekend in the 60s to near 70 Saturday and Sunday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
If you didn't receive those special gifts Santa promised you this Christmas, you know those boots and shirts with all the accessories? Well, it's never too late to shop that boot store. The rack after rack of famous name brands, including Carhartt work clothes, awaiting your shopping pleasures. You haven't shopped for Western wear until you shop that boot store, offering a lot more than boots. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your heart. Open Tuesday through Thursday 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday 9 to 5:30, next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street.
If you got more A's on your truck than you did in high school, you might be a Bama fan. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, I think we got no caller. Okay, we had a call. Call back. We'll tell you. Call back. I apologize. All right, let's. I'm gonna end this. Well, no, we can keep going. Whatever you guys want to do. But I want Ron to talk a little bit about golf in a second. But I do want to go. The reason I've known Jeremy Pruitt, 10 years longer. I really like him. He was at Birmingham. He was at Hoover. He was the defense coordinator there. Did a great job. He's a great recruiter, with or without the bags. No, he really is. He's a good man. He's a good person. The business he's in, I just don't think it's fair if you let one come back and no, you can't let him. And you go and do all the research, and I'm not going to get into it here on the radio show, but I do know some things. What he did, what other people did, and you're right, it's not fair.
No.
I mean, they don't give out equal punishment across the board for whatever reason. But I hope, because knowing him and personally like him, I hope he gets the opportunity to come back and coach football and SEC.
Here's my take on it. So we've been talking about this, lack of oversight for college football since this NIL stuff started coming in. To me, it's the path of least resistance.
Right.
If we just allow people to do whatever the heck they want, they'll complain, but we don't have to do anything, and we don't have to be the bad guy to come in and drop the hammer on somebody. So let's let them do it. No holds barred. That's what I think is really, really going on.
You're exactly, and that happened in Florida High School Athletics Association.
Absolutely.
There for a while, they said they ain't going to deal with this anymore. They were approving everything. I think they're trying to pull back in now.
Yeah. Well, why do you think there's open enrollment in the state of Florida high school sport? That's the reason. Yeah. That I'm about 100% sure of that one.
My problem with
it's easier to do nothing than to enforce the rules.
My problem with college football now, it's like every institution we've seen over the last 8 years just be eroded by greed. It's super, super fraudulent, toxic. There's nobody policing the sport. It's the wild, wild west. There's kids being offered $10 million here, $5 million here. They sign here, transfer here. They get another $2 million here. It's turned college football into a joke. Really.
I said it the other day. If you're Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, the whole team go in there and tell the coach, we're all transferred out. If we don't get a better NIL deal, we're gone.
If I'm a C.J. Stroud,
they would get the money. They'd have to get the money.
If I'm a C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young and I'm going into my senior or junior year, since that's their pay year, I may say, hey, coach, I'm going to transfer. What can you offer me to stay here? Oh, 10, 15 million. Oh, Alabama's offering me 12. Drake May, there's rumors about him getting 5 to transfer. There's nobody policing that, and that should never happen. I mean, if you have an established kid like a Marvin Harrison Jr., we heard the rumors about him going to USC, that's tampering. I mean, that's against the rules, and there's nobody policing that. Half our roster's been, contacted by other coaches, via proxy, be an agent or something.
Well, they went after Wisconsin. You had Lou Fickle. They're accusing him of contacting players.
Well, good for him. I mean,
I'm sure it's happening.
It has to happen now, because once the top 2 or 3 teams start to do it, then everybody has to do it to keep up. And that's my problem with the way the NCAA governs. They're not applying rules the same to every school.
I got something you two guys would be interested in. Ohio State spring football game will be at noon, April 15th. You can start purchasing. I didn't know y'all charged. You can start purchasing tickets. What's the date of that? February 10th.
I think they have a lacrosse game before that they actually charge for, because they try to break the world record for the attendance at a lacrosse game.
It says they have free parking. I think tickets are $7. There will also be a limited number of reserved seating. Option available 15 and 30. So it's not like it's not like a big bunch.
It's a big year for Ryan Day. I think he got the monkey off his back. There's a lot of rumors after losing to Michigan, but I think that performance against Georgia is about him a little bit more grace with the fan base. You know, the administration was never going to move on from him, but this is going to be a super talented
He's played
team.
for 2 national. No, that wasn't national. That was the national championship. I told everybody it was the national championship. It was. He gets destroyed by Bama in the national championship game. I will say I thought it was his best coaching job against Georgia.
Right.
I'll give him credit for that. But how do you lose to Michigan at home in that perfect weather? It's on the defensive side of the ball. It's his problem. It's like Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma, now USC. It's defense.
Right.
I mean, his defense, he's great. Offensive guy, he's unbelievable.
And you know, and the thing that often gets overlooked in all this with Ohio State, in 2019, when Chase Young was a senior, you know who led the NCAA in defense? The Ohio State Buckeyes. All right. You know, yeah, those DBs got torched. They did. But what's often overlooked, those DBs back in 2019, the Jeff Okudas and Damon Arnett, they didn't get torched because Chase Young was chasing that quarterback from the get-go every play. And that's overlooked. In Ohio State, you know, they talk about those defensive ends, that JT Tuimoloau. Yeah, he had one great game against Penn. He did. He was all-world against Penn State. But other than that, not so much. And Stetson Bennett, go back and watch that fourth quarter. Stetson Bennett wasn't touched that fourth quarter.
I know.
You know, so it's not just DBs and safeties who can't cover. Yeah, and I don't think they can. But it's the whole defense. It's the pressure, too.
Well, you go to the Michigan game, they got burned because they were run blitzes and they didn't plug the gaps. I mean, the guys went untouched. There was like 4 plays that was difference in that ball game.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I wasn't the most excited when they announced the Knowles hire. Not that I didn't think he did a good job in the Big 12, just the fact that why am I going to the Big 12 to hire a defensive coordinator? I mean, it's one of the worst conferences in all of football for defenses. They don't really play a physical style of brand of football. If you look at some of the calls he made in the Michigan game, that – zero safety, man-to-man, that gave them the first touchdown. We dominated in the first half. I mean, it was 313 yards to 106. That one play changed the entire dynamic of the game. Go back to the Georgia game. We're up 14 points. He goes zero safety man again late in the fourth quarter. A guy falls down. They just give a gift touchdown to him to get within 7. Yeah. That is egregious. I can't believe that happened.
On 3 of the runs, once he passed the defensive front, there were no backers because they were blitzing somewhere else.
Yeah,
against
Michigan, not so much against Georgia.
But he changed it up. They learned not to do that.
Yeah. So, you know, when you play defense, it's the whole defense. You know, one part affects the other part. Yeah. And
but this is going to be a big year for Knowles because if it happens again, you might have to start looking elsewhere.
I think Harbaugh said the right thing. He was born on third base. You get the head job at Ohio State and you've never been a head coach. Come on.
But I'll say this. In the games that he had to show up big, Georgia and even Clemson 2 years ago when we beat him in the Sugar Bowl, he's done a tremendous job. So there's a guy in there that can coach and be a high-level coach.
He needs to be the head coach and not do the offensive coordinator job. Well, that way he can see everything.
That's why Brian Hartline was promoted to offensive coordinator. He's going to be the head coach. He's going to sit in the defensive.
Yeah, but is Hartline going to call the plays?
That's what they said.
Yeah. We'll see. I want to see that. All right, let's take this call. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Coach Mike Whitworth III or whatever.
What are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing wonderfully well, Coach James, and thank you for asking. How are you?
I couldn't be better.
That's a lie. His back's killing him.
I've been hurting last couple of days.
He's getting massages.
Yeah. Well, you know, what helped me is I lost about 100 pounds. I don't know if you're in that category. I don't know what you look like, but
I look good, but I need to lose some weight.
But I can't. You know, well, I smoked. I took up smoking again. I gave up chewing tobacco to take up smoking.
Get off that crap.
Well, I'm going to have to because of my budget. I'm going to have to because medical marijuana. You know, I'm on a fixed income, man.
Right.
But I'm going to speak up today. I'm not going to personalize anything. I'm going to tell you I'm at peace with the world, and Harbaugh is getting messed with. And I'm going to, you know, I'm a Tennessee guy, but I'm not a sycophant. And it kind of reminds me of some of the stuff. We used to call him Coach Fat Boy, but he's the second greatest Tennessee coach in history. Fulmer. Philip. Yeah, you know. It's so college football is so funny. It's almost incestuous. But Fulmer and Majors are from the same county. But Fulmer, he went to the big school, and Majors went to the little Class 8. Well, there weren't any classes back then, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you know, Fulmer used to mess with Alabama all the time, and Auburn, whoever, and I guess people mess with them. And I'm on your side about Jeremy Pruitt. That's where I vary from a lot of Vol fans. Is I don't like the way our fan base treated two Alabama. You know, one of them was one of Coach Bryant's boys, Bill Battle, and I go back that far. And I also remember now why I didn't know that Kenny Anderson, and I got on to Brian the other day. I was actually on the flight line at Keesler, you know, so that's, throw that out to my. I'm trying to be friends with guy that I won't call my name. But anyway, so you know, y'all are all right about this. And here's the thing, the wheels, they go slowly, you know, they grind slowly. But the first thing to take care of is tighten up the transfer portable, as you called it the other day. But anyway, that portal, I mean, it's got to be restricted. And you did the contract. Now, I'm pro student athlete. I'm for NIL. But there's got to be some sensibility. And, you know, the trouble about running it through the university is it affects tax-exempt status. I mean, these are big issues. Now, here's what I don't want.
Right.
And some people may differ with me. I don't want Coach Tuberville and Washington, D.C. trying to take it over or make it right. Because I'll tell you what, I'd be for it if they could balance the budget. You know, but that's all political, I'll say. But here's what the Big Ten did, though. They planted a time bomb in their conference with those California schools. I mean, those guys aren't what they used to be as far as governance. And that's a great thing that's keeping this the Big Ten, the SEC from going so crazy woke is that the state schools, at least, not Vanderbilt Northwestern, but the state schools answer to the legislators eventually, and those people answer the people. And anyway, happy birthday, Jack Nicklaus, tomorrow, who dotted the I on Script, Ohio against Michigan. But I like Michigan now because they treat them like everybody else treats Tennessee. They should be ranked number 1 or 2, and number 2 behind Georgia in these preseason things. And people still, it's Ohio State, Ohio State. You know, God love you, God love everybody, God loves everybody. But y'all love God back.
All right,
and
thanks, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Care.
Appreciate you, brother. Mike. I like Mike. Bill Battle was, y'all are too young. Bill Battle was treated pretty bad at Tennessee. He was a heck of a football coach. And after that, I don't think he coached after that. He got fired there. He had a great record. He beat Bear Bryant. I can tell you more. So, and he was the Alabama's athletic director. Good looking guy. Wealthy. I mean, I can tell more about him later. All right. We got to take a break. All right, let's just take the break. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Join us Wednesday at 7:30 as Texas A&M takes on the nationally ranked Auburn Tigers inside the jungle. And tomorrow, number 14 TCU and number 2 Kansas collide. Coverage starts at 11:30 on your home for college basketball on the Panhandle.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting partly to mostly sunny skies today. Mid to upper 60s. Thickening cloudiness overnight around 50. A weather front coming in for the weekend. That weather front will stall, giving us cloud showers, maybe a thunderstorm over the weekend in the 60s to near 70 Saturday and Sunday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John, powered by Pepsi, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Chick-fil-A Tyndall Parkway has reopened and invites you to eat more chicken at our newly renovated location. Not able to stop in? Let us bring you your favorites right to your door with Chick-fil-A delivery. If you live within our delivery radius, you can count on our team members to prepare and deliver your order with care, the Chick-fil-A way. Order online or through the app. Can't get enough Chick-fil-A? Follow us on Facebook at Chick-fil-A Tyndall Parkway. Chick-fil-A delivery is also available from our sister location on the beach.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Oh, Tyro, Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, we just got some of these transfer deals. I got to be honest with you, last night I did not prepare, and I apologize to everybody there listening. We try to give you some information, try to have some insight of what's going on, and I honestly was drugged up and did not do it, so I don't have really much information for you today besides these three highly intelligent, knowledgeable men in here right now.
Was it true Saban ranked Alabama number 2 on his final?
I had him number 1, but he had him number 2.
I mean, I love Saban, don't get me wrong, but come on. You didn't make the playoffs. Take your L, move on.
Do you think when David said that to him up in where's the national championship game? California?
Yeah.
When he said that Georgia has now taken over college football, that look.
It looked like somebody smacked him in the face.
I think that
I
might
thought
have
it was
something to
funny
do with it.
because it's true.
It is true.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you know what? You lost 2 games. Georgia didn't.
Right. But, Georgia also had a little bit of luck with 2 major players getting injured in those games that could have turned the tide. So it's not like they dominated college football last 2 years. Alabama's right there. Ohio State's right there. You got a couple other teams that are coming up. So while they have a nice run, have all the respect in the world for what Kirby's done and Stetson, they're not a dynasty yet. You got to win a couple more.
I'll tell you what, though,
they got
a good shot. They got a good shot to go 3
they're the
in a
best
row.
program
You look
in
at their
college
schedule.
football
Have you
today.
looked at their schedule
Yeah,
next year?
it's
They don't play
Cupcake
anybody.
City.
They don't. Tennessee, they beat Tennessee.
He learned from the best.
Yeah. All right, hey, second year in a row. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Second year in a row, Alabama landed a veteran Georgia football player, Marshall, inside linebacker. He comes out of the Peach State 2019 class, announced his pledge to the Crimson Tide on Thursday night late. So we've lost a couple linebackers, inside linebackers. That's a need that we have. And he said that this transfer deal, that if they need a certain position and need help quickly, that's one of the reasons he would do so. Right. This kid's, is an unbelievable kid coming out of high school. The Alabama recruiting coming out of high school, and he went with Georgia. Enjoyed, I guess, all the recruitment he got when Alabama was coming after him. So now he's going to go play for the University of Alabama. And he'll probably walk in there, and play quite a bit. So that's a big pickup for the Crimson Tide. I think Alabama right now, I want to say it's their first guy they got that's transferred in. Bama has lost. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Running back, I'm not worried about running backs. We got some good running backs. We signed the number 1 running back in the country. He's really good.
And the number 3.
Yeah. So running back's not going to be an issue. Quarterback, I don't know what we're going to do with quarterback. I really thought we were going to try to pull somebody out, and we didn't. I thought maybe the kid from North Carolina, but he never went in the portable, though, did he?
He didn't.
No. He got a lot of rumors. Offers, though,
right.
NIL offers.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
He wasn't even in it.
But this is my problem with what these offers we hear. We don't even know if those are true, because a lot of these kids after the fact come out and say, I didn't really receive an offer from anybody. You don't know if they're lying. You don't know if people are just trying to, put a seed in
work
his
the
head.
system, yeah.
So we really don't know what's going on. And of course, there's nobody policing the sport, so who knows?
All right, let's take this call right now. Good morning.
Go Blue Sharks here. Bring on Touching back
There he is.
Why would you call during the Alabama update? I'm just curious. Why would you do that?
Perfect timing.
I am the people's caller, the people's defender. No one wants to hear the Alabama crap this morning. Anyway, hey, Buckeye boy, Merry Christmas, belated Happy New Year, brother. Good to have you back on the air, man.
They just take over. I mean,
I feel your pain, bro.
Yeah. We took the high ground.
Feel your pain.
I totally take the high ground. He didn't listen.
The Yankees in Chattanooga, what?
All we had to do is take the high ground. That's all we had to do.
Coach Jim Bob, Superfly, good morning, Ryan, and Coach Hale, good morning. I hope your back's feeling better.
Go ahead. What do you got for us today?
first of all, I just want to say for all quarterbacks in the Panhandle area, Quarterback Vision's coming out Memorial Day for a camp over in South Walton. Ryan Mulvey knows this because I think he's taking his
Yeah, they're
son
going to let
to
Liam
the
come
camp.
on over at an age younger than the bottom age. So I'm excited they're right in our backyard. Hopefully maybe you had something to do with that.
Well, we started the last one last year. Eddie's got a baseball tournament that weekend, so we won't be able to go. We're going to do a private one-on-one. They'll come over to the beach, and then we'll get some one-on-one. They're bringing multiple coaches down. If you guys don't know, it's quarterback Max Staver. He's a 5-star recruit out of Brentwood Academy. Played with Jalen Ramsey. He played for the Gators for a year and all that. But a lot of his students are going D1, getting offers by Bama, Ole Miss. They're the real deal, Holyfield, him and his dad, Coach Bob. So if you go to Quarterback Vision on Instagram, Twitter, and all that, they'll make your quarterback a lot better. Like Eddie qualified for the quarterback duel, the national quarterback duel, man. So they're the real deal. They'll get your son to be where he needs to be. So just saying. Anyway, Coach
I want
Hale.
to talk about the Harbaugh situation, my friend, because I've been beating this drum since the day they accused him of buying 2 hamburger meals for 2 recruits while we have all this laughable stuff going on at Tennessee, LSU. Recently Florida had offered $13 million to a kid, couldn't pay him, so they ended up having to get sued and back up at NIL. So do you have a president up there, anybody, athletic director, that's got this guy's back? Because for what I would say, I would tell the NCAA to kick rocks, and if they try to punish me, we'd just break away. I think the Big Ten is time to move on. Rules aren't being applied, evenly throughout the country. One school's allowed to buy tens of millions of dollars of recruits, while other schools are getting busted for taking kids to a meal. What's your thoughts on that? What's going on with Michigan? How are you guys going to play this?
Okay, well, my thought is, one, we're a lame duck conference right now.
Right.
Because Warren, while he got some good TV deals and all that, he was I didn't like him. Especially during the China virus thing. I didn't like the way we really had to fight. Actually, Ohio State led from the front on that to get us to play ball during the COVID year.
Right.
But his son could play at Mississippi State. He's kind of a hypocrite on that. Sorry. So actually, good riddance to Commissioner Warren. Go to the Bears, and the Lions will beat that drum every year, in the NFC North. So go ahead. Well, we have a lame duck conference right now without a leader.
But this is
and
the
you know
biggest
what?
hire for a commissioner, I think, in our lifetime, because they need a guy up there that knows the enemy. The SEC is going to do whatever it takes to win, and we need a guy like Jim Tressel. We need Barry Alvarez, somebody that's been within these programs that want them to succeed, that care about football more than the academia side, which is normally what we do. We'll hire some bureaucrat or something that's run a Fortune 500 company. They come in, know nothing about football, and we're sitting around looking at like idiots while the SEC just steals all recruits and pretty much college football for the last 30 years. So this, to me,
means more.
Yeah, well, cheating doesn't mean more to me. It just means you can't win straight up.
More crap. Man.
To you, Freeze it did, and we saw a lot of them texts what it meant to him.
He's back.
He's back.
You're right though. Like Coach Alvarez and Coach Tressel, sweater vest. I think they love the Big Ten. They love the Midwest, and I think they would be perfect hires to be commissioners. You're absolutely right. But like Coach Jim Bob Superfly Snook said earlier in the week, when I didn't know he was Youngstown president, I didn't know that. Yeah. But he is getting up in age. So do they want to hire a 70-something?
Yeah, he's going to retire like the beginning of February, so he's got a couple more weeks to go.
Jim, how old is he?
Jim Tressel is 70 years old.
That's
turned
not
70.
old anymore.
No,
he's really not old anymore.
He's younger than Saban. I just don't see Tressel doing it. I think that ship has sailed. I just think he wants to get out of that life. He's been in the spotlight a lot.
Have you talked to him lately?
No, I haven't talked to him in a long time. He's a great guy, though.
He's a great person.
Great person.
That's what made me mad about the ESPN NCAA investigation over him. They smeared him so bad and lied about him so bad. It just and you had fans out there. Oh, he's the devil. He's this, that, the third. And it was like, what are you?
Are you saying
about?
The media lies?
Oh, absolutely.
Did that surprise you from the four-letter?
No. And did
that surprise you from the four-letter though?
No.
Really?
No. When that all happened with Tressel, and I was trying to explain to my wife, who's never met him, I said,
"Well, time out. Will you please tell everybody, because some people down this part of the country might not know what he did. Give a little quick breakdown. What happened.
Long story short, Jim Tressel was the head coach at Ohio State. Got in trouble because his players had sold their own memorabilia, what they
jerseys.
jerseys,
gold pants,
and the gold. When they beat Michigan, they get a little trinket, a little
championship rings.
You know,
their own stuff.
Their own stuff for tattoos, and they got in a lot of trouble.
Didn't you do a 30-30 on ESPN about it?
Oh,
of course.
6
so,
months straight.
I'm
the worst thing anybody could ever do.
Yeah,
right.
so I'm trying to explain to my wife. I said, unless you know Jim Tressel like I did, because he was one of my coaches at Akron when I played back in the 70s, I said, he's one of the most intelligent, one of the most upright, straightforward people I've ever met. I said, it's almost impossible for me to believe that he is like the evil person in all this.
Right.
I almost refuse to believe that. It's like, that would be so out of character.
But you notice they couldn't get anybody close to him to say anything bad about him. It was all these anonymous sources, ESPN citing this source and that, but it was never anybody that said anything bad. One of the worst stories they tried to do to him, they tried to tell everybody that he rigged this raffle at a camp one time, and they actually did it. There was a kid there with autism. He was sick. They brought him there to the camp. Tressel told the rest of the kids, hey, if you want to enter this, we're going to set it up. We're going to give it to this kid. Everybody was on board. But the narrative ESPN put out there, they lied to all these kids. They rigged a raffle for this kid, and it was the most laughable thing. And that's why I have no respect for ESPN. To me, they're the CNN of college football, and I just have no respect for them. And they have way too much influence over college football. I mean, they have influence over the rankings in the college football playoffs. And to me, we need a Big Ten commissioner to come in and fix some of this stuff, because they're not even on the same playing field. They're not even in the game at this point. They got a couple programs, Ohio State, Michigan, with blue blood brands that can compete every now and then with the SEC. Penn State, I still don't think they can compete with Alabama and LSU on a consistent level. They'll have a good team next year, but for them to be in the game, they got to get in the recruiting game, and the recruiting game's dirty, and you can't have guys up there enforcing rules that don't exist anymore. You got to be aggressive, and you need guys that understand the landscape of what college football is doing now, and we just haven't had that in the last 20 years.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Jim, what are you
Number
doing?
one,
What are you doing?
Buckeye Boy is absolutely right. ESPN is the CNN, the fake news of the sports world, and they drug Tressel through the mud. And Coach Tressel, if I would have known then what I know now, I would totally be defending Coach Tressel even in Michigan, because back then I was young, and my hate for Ohio State was more than the principle of the truth and all that. And he got dragged through the mud, and he took spears for his players and all that. So to Buckeye Nation, to Coach Tressel, I apologize for being immature and ignorant.
We got Harbaugh's back right now.
You got the wrong edge of the stick. And there's so much things that I realize now as I grow older. People told me back when I was younger that I was like, no, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. It is true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just bull.
Corruption has ruined a lot of our institutions. It's happened rapidly over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break, Missionary. We got to take a break. You want to hang on? You got to go.
No, I'll hang on. I'm hanging with my boys, man.
All right, let's talk about some great people. We got so many wonderful sponsors.
and
Appreciate all you wonderful guys. Get out to Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Backbridge Road. Get that car and vehicle washed. It look brand new. They do a great job down there. They buy the best products, and that's the reason it works so well. Also, don't forget about Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road also. They got the best barbecue sandwich, best barbecue plate. Get out to Rudy's, have a great time. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Join us Wednesday at 7:30 as Texas A&M takes on the nationally ranked Auburn Tigers inside the jungle. And tomorrow, number 14 TCU and number 2 Kansas collide. Coverage starts at 11:30 on your home for college basketball on the Panhandle.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting partly to mostly sunny skies today. Mid to upper 60s. Thickening cloudiness overnight around 50. A weather front coming in for the weekend. That weather front will stall, giving us cloud showers, maybe a thunderstorm over the weekend in the 60s to near 70 Saturday and Sunday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
By now, you've heard us talking about Tiger TV Pro. Hi, David Hayes from the Afternoon Underdogs, here to remind you about this incredible streaming service with over 6,000 premium channels. And the cost, you ask? $15 a month. Yes, only $15 a month. Every sports channel is available, including the ACC and SEC network, the NFL, NBA, MLB, HBO, Showtime, and thousands more. For more info, go to our website at espnpc.com. Scroll down and click the Tiger logo.
What's that grin about?
I just took a load off my staff by hiring Fresh Start Cleaning Services.
How'd you manage that?
Fresh Start Cleaning Services allows our team to leave at the end of their shift and not have to stay and clean after a double. They're happy, and you should see the difference having a professional cleaner makes. Plus, now I know exactly how much the cleaning cost will be for the year.
Wow, that would make anyone smile.
You can call Fresh Start Cleaning Services at 850-771-6057.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle. Hey, Martha, Kenny, James Guatemala.
Ryan Mobley.
Got this down.
Michigan Eddie is an Auburn fan also.
Glenn Manley.
Absolutely.
Hey, if you're going to go play golf, where are you going?
Bay Point Golf Club.
That's right. You want to go buy something for your wife or for your partner?
Bay Point Golf Club.
Bay Point.
Can
Clubhouse.
Can you get cloths there?
We got a few things.
Got the best cloth you'll get anywhere.
Do we want to clarify something about us at ESPN and the ESPN mothership? You know, so that's totally different.
Yeah, because I was getting really hurt and upset what you were talking about ESPN.
Well, ESPN
I
Radio,
work for them. I'm proud of them.
We're not paid by the mothership and that organization, and we're not told what to say, when to say it. That's probably why we're a little crazy over here. But, you know, ESPN Radio here locally is much different than the ESPN mothership we referred to. I think Randy had a heart attack when I was talking about ESPN and how much trash they are.
I was having it with him.
Two completely different things.
Yeah. This local radio station's not paid and told what to say.
So y'all would please tell them to quit being mean to me. Do the best I can. Hey, seriously, what's going on in Auburn?
I mean, you're deep into basketball season now. They're coming off a couple wins. They're 5-1 in the SEC behind Alabama and Texas A&M, who are both undefeated. Alabama's 6-0. Got a big matchup coming in February in Auburn, which is going to be a crazy game. If anybody can get me tickets to that, please let me know. But they've won their last several SEC games after losing to Georgia back earlier this month. They've won their last 4. I think they've lost 3 games so far this season. They're 15-3. They're 10-0 at home, which is a testament to how tough it is to come play at Auburn. That's why it's one of the toughest tickets in college basketball right now. But they're playing well. Hopefully they can continue. I mean, the SEC is tough in basketball for sure. You got a lot of top teams. Alabama is really looking good, although you never talk about Alabama basketball on the show.
What about the Kentucky Wildcats? What about John's Wildcats?
It's pitiful.
That
take the Kentucky job. Take the Kentucky job.
That $50 million buyout's going to keep them there a long time.
That's right. I was about to say, take the Texas job.
Yeah.
Calipari, $50 million.
$50 million.
Wow.
Yeah. What's he make? $9 million, 9.5 a year.
10 to 12. I thought.
He makes Jim. He's knocked out.
Dang.
Yeah, because Texas was interested in him when they saw the buyout. They were like,
yeah, we can't.
Not so much.
Ryan, would you mind if I talk about one little thing real quick and I'll shut up?
I will be very upset.
I'm gonna be. I forget. I think it's interesting to you. Bill Castle walked in the office the other day and retired from Lakeland High School.
Really?
Head football coach.
Wow.
He'd been at Lakeland High School for 52 years. He was the head football coach there for 47 years. My big rival guy that we wanted to beat, the legendary there, was called Paul Quinn at the time. He worked with Paul Quinn at Lakeland.
Paul Quinn was at Bartow.
The Dreadnoughts.
Paul Quinn was at Lakeland, left and took the job at Bartow, and I was at Lake Wells. That's our big rival. He wanted Bill to come with him. He was with him at Lake City. He said, "Yeah, I'm coming." Then they offered Bill the job. He stayed there. He was the head football coach there for 47 years.
Great program.
He is the winningest coach in Florida high school history. I think he's at 473 wins.
Yeah, it's a bunch.
At a public school.
Right.
Public school. Won 8 state championships. Really great
including
guy.
This year.
Yeah. They beat
Venice.
Yeah. But Phil Cobb said he offered him a job one time. So that's the reason Phil's listening right now. But anyway, the guy was incredible. We lost a great one. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. 40. Can you imagine being at one school, high school now, for 47
They had
years?
one of the best teams. I remember in state history when they had the Pounceys, Rainey, and all that. I think they sent 8 kids to Florida that year who won won a national title, played for another one. So what a tremendous program. I'd like to know if it just got tired or something else.
I read the article, and they went after him one time. I was at a football camp and saw him because we knew each other from Polk County. And what's the big school in Georgia? Valdosta. Yeah, they wanted him at one time, and he was at the camp. And I said, "Man, you'll make a lot of money." And he acted like he was going to do it, but then he didn't. His wife never wanted to leave Lakeland. They loved their son, played for him there. His son's a lawyer now in Tampa. But Bill, they went after Bill. They got a new guy in Polk County. They went after him. Said he was buying players, places to live, all this kind of stuff. They did a big investigation. Wasn't true.
Right.
What they didn't realize, the guy that went after him didn't realize, I was back in Polk County like in 1981, and everybody knew in Lakeland you had these other three or four schools. At that time, I think there was 3. When you were a freshman, sophomore, you went to Kathleen, Lake Gibson, somewhere like that. But when you turned a junior, you were all going to Lakeland.
Right.
It was just a tradition over there. He didn't have to do anything.
Right.
The parents, the fans, everybody did it. Everybody wanted to go there. Why? They won championships all the time. All of his players were getting scholarships. He bust his butt getting kids scholarships because he knew if you give them scholarships, they're going to come. I ain't got to do anything else but get these guys, develop them, get them ready. And most of his players went to Florida. Right. He had a lot of great players from Lakeland went to Florida. One kid everybody in the country wanted, this wasn't too long ago, you and I think talked about once. He went to Clemson, a running back, and we were like, oh, my God, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way.
That was C.J. Spiller, wasn't it?
Spiller was from Union County.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a big-name kid.
Right.
And we're like, Dabo's got the NIL deal also. This is before the NIL deal.
Church money up there.
He went there. But anyway, I wanted to talk, I had to give a shout out to Bill. One
that's
of the greatest
awesome.
coaches ever lived at any level. Bill Castle. You met Bill.
Be interesting to see who they go after now because that's a big-time program.
They asked him about that, and he said there's a couple guys on staff that he likes, but who would want that job? You know, you're going to win for a while, but it doesn't matter if you don't win the state championship every year.
Yeah, you're out.
Complain.
But I will say this: based on what he's built, you'll be in the conversation every year.
There's no question.
It's like a little college down there.
Right.
It's incredible what he's done.
Yeah.
47 years at one school. He's in the Polk County Hall of Fame. He's in the state of Florida Hall of Fame. He's in everything.
Well
I can't
deserved.
believe we don't have a Hall of Fame here in Bay County. It's the only one I know doesn't have it. You still have it? I don't care about him. I'm talking about something else. Is he still on the phone? Go ahead, Ron. Finish what you got.
Nah, I mean, that's pretty much Auburn
story
basketball.
Time with Coach Hale.
What happened?
Story time with Coach Hale.
What'd you say?
He said story time with Coach Hale.
Are you still on the phone? I'm sorry. We thought you hung up. I hope you didn't hear what I said.
Well, I always hear what you say. Coach doesn't bother me.
All right. All right. We got to get into our NFL picks. What you got for us, Michigan? We got to let you go in a second.
Well, I just want to ask Ryan, do you got any college socks?
Any what?
College socks. At the store.
What is he saying? Anybody got
college socks?
College socks?
Yeah, at the store at Bay Point. Remember you had the...
yeah. God, man, you threw me for a curveball there. No, not anymore. Unfortunately, we don't carry stance. I think you were the only one that came in and bought them. No, but those stance socks are awesome. We had a bunch of Michigan gear that fit right into your repertoire. Very nice.
All right. Well, I think you should maybe do a special order just for Michigan Eddie, man.
There you go. There you go.
Right down the street.
I know you'll buy it. That's for sure. Yeah, you're right around the corner.
So, anyway, I just want to talk about the NCAA investigation. So, a level 2 is what right now Michigan is being investigated for. And if they try to get the level 1 for Harbaugh line, which he's denied, but admits to level 2. So, if he admitted to level 2, you think he would admit to level 1 because he's an upright guy. So, level 1, if you get a level 1, you get like postseason ban, reduction in scholarships. I mean, it's a big deal, right?
Right.
Level 2, you just get like a slap on the wrist. Like in 16, Virginia got level 2. They got $5,000 fine, reduction in off-campus contacts, and all that. So it is a big difference. and stuff like that. And as what I know, Ypsilanti Chris from yesterday, he wanted me to give him an update. From what I'm hearing in Ann Arbor, looks like he was hacked. And if it was a heinous crime, it would be a federal crime. If it was something like porn and all that. So obviously it is a nothing burger because only the University of Michigan police are investigating it. So if it was a high-level crime, the feds would have gotten
I want to go
involved.
back to the little Harbaugh situation because they threw this on the trestle and they make this the death penalty. You lied to the NCAA. Well, do you think LSU came forward and said, hey, we were robbing cancer patients and flying them all over the country? Do you think Will Wade came in and said, yep, I did that. I was on the FBI investigation. I was on HBO given $60,000. No, they all lied, but this is their way to get and punish these schools. It's very corrupt. I mean, the NCAA is a joke at this point. The chancellor at LSU has not leveled the playing field. He's done the exact opposite. He slanted it to one conference. And the Big Ten needs to wake up. They have an opportunity to hire a commissioner that knows what he's doing, that has the best interest of these schools in hand. And the NCAA, to me, should be dead, at least outside the SEC. If they want to police the SEC, that's fine. They don't do it anyway.
Yeah, they don't.
Anyway, the Pac-12, the ACC, the Big Ten should not be being governed by the NCAA. They're completely inept. They're completely corrupt, and there's no reason for us to even give them the opportunity to police us.
Yeah. And here's one thing, guys. This is my last segment with you guys. So you asked me about our president, Santa Ono. He's an awesome dude, and he loves academics, athletics, and student athlete and all that. And he's the one that's been talking to Harbaugh to get something done. Because right now, athletic director Manuel is not the biggest is not the favorite in Ann Arbor right now with some of the stuff.
All right, hold your thoughts right there. We got to take a break. And thank you for calling Michigan Eddie. We'll see you next week or tomorrow or Monday.
All right, man. Go to Arizona, bring up 22. And I love Neyland Stadium. Talk to you later. I'm out. See you. Bye.
South Oak Title and Closing. All real estate deals. I tell you all the time, the big-time realtors want Chuck Tucker because it's done correctly. No surprises at closing time. South Oak Title and Closing. Don't forget, J. Michael's Restaurant today. Chris Fish is special. The best seafood, coldest beer. J. Michael's Restaurant, Thomas Drive. If you're having any kind of problems with your heating or cooling unit, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They are number one, not even close. I tell you, Jason, one of the greatest guys I know. Stevenson Air Conditioning, number one. Buffalo Rock, thank you guys for all the great things you did when we were in Polk County, when we were in Arnold High School. I'm telling you, man, anytime we needed coolers, scoreboards, they were there for us. Make sure you take care of them. They have taken care of your kids if they've gone to a Bay District school. Buffalo Rock is number one. We'll be right back. Ron's going to talk about the NFL, the playoff games. Before we get out of here, I hope we have time to talk about Ole Miss, what they've done as far as their deals. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Your home for the NFL. Listen to the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity. Thursday night football. Double and triple headers on Sundays. And Monday night football. The NFL on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored locally by Dave & Buster's and Instant Replay Sports Cards.
Krispy Kreme presents something new. For a limited time, get the Biscoff Lover's Dozen. This includes 3 each of their Biscoff Ice Donut, Biscoff Cookie Butter Cream-Filled Donut, Biscoff Cookie Butter Cheesecake, and the original Glazed Donut. For a limited time at Krispy Kreme Donuts, with 2 locations. Next to Gulf Coast Hospital on 23rd Street in Panama City and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
PCB Coins and Cards is the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, coins, and trading card games. PCB Coins and Cards carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Coins and Cards has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel, rookie, game used, and autograph cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? Bring it in and let us take a look. We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Coins and Cards on Back Beach Road just east of Florida Linen. Call them today at 850-320-8388.
Since 1955, Buddy Gandy's Seafood Market has been providing their customers with the freshest seafood in Panama City. Check out their huge variety of fish, shrimp, oysters, crab legs, live blue crab, steam bar, and more. They'll even clean your catch for you. Buddy Gandy's Seafood Market has everything you need for your holiday seafood feast, plus gift cards for those special people in your life. They're open 7 days a week near the intersection of Beck Avenue and Highway 98. Mention ESPN for a 10% discount. For more info, visit Buddy Gandy's Seafood Market on Facebook. Happy holidays!
On the run, caught.
Time to let the big dogs eat.
How about that answer by Georgia? In the end zone, touchdown, Georgia.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Money!
Yeah, for 9 hours.
Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
On repeat.
I did want to give a shout to Phil Cobb. He very impressive that he was offered a job by Bill Castle. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it was.
I told him the greatest thing that happened in his life that I hired him. That was national news. But he goes, hey, not only that, Rex Mercer hired me at Lake Wells. I was hired at Auburn. I was hired at Walmart. I was hired at UPS. I was hired at Okeechobee Bank, Western Hills Lodge. This guy's been hired for all kinds of jobs. He goes, now, Janice hired me at Arnold, even though I know you really didn't want me. Can you believe he would say that?
Yeah, come on,
Phil.
Phil.
That was ugly. That was ugly. Anyway, congratulations, Phil. I'm glad that thank you so much for your update on your job marketing skills. Unbelievable. What about the playoffs? What we got?
It's the divisional round. There's 8 teams left. I know we don't talk a whole lot of NFL on here, but it's kind of that time of year where if you just like football, you need to watch these playoff games. And last weekend was sure a testament to that with a couple 3 crazy games, and the Niners kind of pulled away in the second half in theirs. After that dirty play on Debo. But anyway, Saturday you've got 2 games. Get out to some of our sponsors and watch these games, especially El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where they have buy one, get one on margaritas, draft beers, and house wines. But first game that kicks off the divisional rounds is going to be at 3:30 our time on Saturday. It's going to be the Jaguars and the Chiefs in Arrowhead. It's a 9-point spread right now. Obviously, the Jags came back and broke the Chargers' hearts last weekend. I was at a wedding last weekend trying to watch some of these games on an iPad during the game, and Miss T, who's a big Chargers fan, she's our lead cook over at Bay Point. It was up 27-0. Then they left to go watch the rest of the game, and the rest was history. So does the Jaguars have any miracle chance against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in Arrowhead? I don't know. There's a reason why it's a 9-point spread. I mean, the Chiefs are obviously, I think, one of the Super Bowl favorites this year for sure. I mean, Patrick Mahomes makes stuff happen. But, Trevor Lawrence had a terrible first half, 4 interceptions. They go into halftime, come back, or they scored that one touchdown right before half, which you've seen that so many times in games, which makes a huge difference coming in that second half. But, what do you guys think? You think the Jags got a chance in this one?
I don't. Not on the road. It's one thing to throw 3 interceptions and come back at home. It's another thing to get behind a Kansas City team that's probably the most explosive offense in the league. Experienced quarterback, great coach. I mean, they got weapons. I just don't see it with Jacksonville. They should be extremely proud, and their fans should be ecstatic for where they came. I mean, you went from Urban Meyer, who won 2 games last year?
Not many games last year.
To making the playoffs and winning a playoff game this year. They're on the right track, and Trevor Lawrence has shown some signs of why he was the first quarterback taken. So I think their future's bright, but I think it ends on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's true. And then next year they get Calvin Ridley back, so another weapon for Trevor Lawrence next year. So yeah, the future is definitely bright in Jacksonville, but that's just going to be tough to play the Chiefs anytime. But at home in the playoffs at Arrowhead, arguably one of the loudest NFL stadiums out there, I think it's going to be a tough one. So I think we probably all agree that the Chiefs will get it done. Probably would cover, I think. Sorry, Jags fans. It's going to be a tough one. But you never know. It is the playoffs. So, and then speaking of you never know, the interesting scheduling that the NFL did, scheduling the night game in Philadelphia, giving those Eagles fans all day long to tailgate and drink and have fun and get ready for the NFC East matchup. The Giants took care of business last week in Minnesota, which I think a lot of people had the Giants winning that game. Minnesota's got a good offense, but their defense has been atrocious all year round. They barely made, they had a great record, but had a negative point differential on the season, and I think the Giants offensively exposed Minnesota Minnesota on defense. Now, Philadelphia's defense is a little different ball game. They're favored 7.5 points at home. It is an NFC East matchup, so it is a big rivalry game. I think this is the game that has a chance to see an upset. Philly didn't play last week, which we talked about earlier today, whether that is actually a positive or a negative, and I think it could go both ways. A lot's going to rely on Jalen Hurts' shoulders, no pun intended. I know he's had a sore shoulder, didn't play 2 of the last 3 games. What are you guys' thoughts on this game?
Alabama either way, because he played at Bama.
Can you leave the studio again?
No, I can't.
Please.
I don't really I'm got mixed emotions this game because I love Jeremy Pruitt. He's with the Giants. Their head coach was Alabama's offensive coordinator, so I kind of pull for them. And you got all those ex-players on the Philadelphia's team, the offensive lineman, the receiver, the quarterback. So I'm going to probably be happy either way, but I don't know. I really don't know.
I think this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be closer than what the spread's going to indicate. With the Giants playing last week and getting a big win on the road, they've been in that environment, so they're going to know what to expect. Going into Philadelphia is a little bit different animal, but they played Philadelphia and the Giants played the last week of the season. I think they lost by 6. So
yeah, and the Giants rested Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and all that.
So I think they have a really good shot. To me, I still like the Eagles. I still think Jalen Hurts was the MVP of the league this year based on the games he was healthy in. I think he led them to the best record in the NFC. So I'm going to take the Eagles, but I think this is going to be closer. If I was a betting man, I would take the points. And
do you think
Giants.
If the Eagles win, it'll be a big play with his legs and not his arm?
I've been impressed with him and Devontae Smith, that connection. I think he's going to make plays in both aspects. I think one thing opens up another. If they go man, he's able to take off and make some big plays running the football.
Well, and when you got A.J. Brown on the other side of the field, that opens up Devonta for sure.
But I think to me, Jalen Hurts has been the most developed and most improved quarterback from the time he played at Alabama, when we knew he was a one-read, flush to the right kind of quarterback. Now he can see the field. He's using his legs at the right time, and he's hitting receivers in time. So I just think he's been a tremendous player all this year.
Now don't write off the Giants. I mean, they're obviously playing with borrowed time, and Brian Dable is probably going to win Coach of the Year for the turnaround he's done with the New York Football Giants. And if Daniel Jones, I mean, if you watch it, he can scramble. I think he rushed for 70+ yards in the first half against
he's got
the
a lot better
Vikings.
Too.
He's poor man's Josh Allen.
Yeah, he definitely is. Now they don't have quite the weapons, but obviously they have Saquon Barkley. But their receiving core, you got a couple no-name guys in there that have really stepped up. But it's going to be a rowdy place to go play. I mean, Philadelphia is. I grew up in New Jersey, and I know Philadelphia fans real well. So
Philadelphia needs to get going. I mean, they Hurts was hurt late in the year. They had a good enough record; they were able to rest some guys, but they haven't played a whole lot of football full strength over the last month and a half. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come out in the first part of this game. If they can get behind, then the Giants have a real shot to win this game.
Yeah, if the Giants can run the ball a little bit, keep the Eagles off the field, I think that makes it a little bit closer. But just on paper, definitely the Eagles should win this game. Right. But does the bye affect them a lot? I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. All right, we got 2 more games. We can maybe cover one more. We talk about the afternoon game on Sunday. We got your Cincinnati Bengals traveling over to Buffalo, New York to take on the Bills, who are a 5.5-point favorite at home, which obviously Vegas thinks this game is, not going to be too one-sided. Josh Allen's obviously a good runner, a good passer. He's not the most accurate guy in the world, but he can certainly sling it. Can the Bengals take advantage of Josh Allen when he runs? He's very loose with that football and is known to turn it over. I heard some interesting stats, though, yesterday. The Bills are 7-2 when turning the football over 2 times or more in a game, and they were 4-1 when they turned it over once. Okay. So they've obviously, a lot of teams, NFL usually whoever wins the turnover battle wins that football game, but the Bills seem to overcome that. But 3 offensive line out for the Bengals, but Joe Cool knows how to get it done in big games, so I think this is going to be a great football game.
Before the injuries, I would have picked Cincinnati in this game, even on the road. I think Buffalo, they have some decent weapons, but I don't think they're on the level as Jamar Chase and that group of receivers. Cincinnati has T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Yeah. I mean, those to me are the 3 best. The combination are the 3 best receivers in the league. I was really concerned watching the Baltimore Ravens. If the Baltimore Ravens were committed to the run down at the goal line on that fumble and just handed it off to the running back, Cincinnati had no chance of stopping him.
Well, that play was designed to go under. It was supposed to be under, and he went rogue and tried to raise it up.
But the quarter and a half before that, they physically dominated Cincinnati's front. They ran it down their throat. They had no answers for that. And now with the offensive line out, that is a big concern for me. So I'm going to take Buffalo in this game. I would lay the points. I think Cincinnati plus 5.5 is a really good number, but 3 offensive linemen out. But I will say this. They had a terrible offensive line last year, and they made it to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Joe Burrow and Chase got on just a different level of connection, and that's the type of talent that can take over a game and win a game like this. So we'll see. Hopefully the weather holds up, and it's a really good day for passing. But, I got to take Buffalo at home on this one.
And if Joe Mixon can kind of get going on a running standpoint, Singletary's a good running back, but he's not the best running back in the league. That's why I think they rely on Josh Allen so much in his legs.
Right.
But, yeah, if their run defense can stop them, force Josh Allen to pass a little more and maybe make some turnovers and see what happens. What do you think, Jim?
I'm kind of like Jason. If Cincinnati had all their linemen healthy, that'd be a big difference. But like you say, they didn't do a great job on the line last year, and they made it to the Super Bowl. I'm not a Bengals fan at all, but I'd like to see the Bengals win just because I like a lot of Ohio State guys like,
Eli Apple, Burrow, Von Bell.
Yeah, they got some Ohio State guys. And
all right, let's
Sam Hubbard making that
One more quick point. If the Chiefs and the Bills win, that AFC Championship game is going to be just up the road in Atlanta.
Yep,
because of the DeMar Hamlin thing and all that. So I know a lot of Chiefs fans.
The Bengals got screwed in that whole ordeal, man. They were leading Buffalo in that game. I mean, but we don't want to be insensitive. We'll wait another year to talk about it.
Yep.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about El Rodeo, Keela Bar and Grill. Just like Ryan said earlier, if you want to go have a great time Sunday watching the games, and Saturday, by the way, get down to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. They got the $5 pitchers. Where can you get that? Food's incredible. Atmosphere second to none. TV's everywhere. You buy one small draft beer, the next one's free. House wine, margaritas, same thing. You can't beat it. Get down to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Have a wonderful time. Also, Blue Sky Express Car Wash. Go get that vehicle washed and waxed. It looks gorgeous down there. Newbies. I didn't say enough about newbies today. Doing a great time. Get out to Newbies on the Curve to watch these NFL games or anything else. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest.
104.3 ESPN is above the rim. Exciting college basketball is back. Tune in every Saturday for the biggest games in college basketball, plus marquee evening matchups during the week. The Round Ball.
And it goes for the win!
You want it, you need it, and we've got it. College basketball plays here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Friday morning. I'm forecasting partly to mostly sunny skies today. Mid to upper 60s. Thickening cloudiness overnight around 50. A weather front coming in for the weekend. That weather front will stall, giving us cloud showers, maybe a thunderstorm over the weekend in the 60s to near 70 Saturday and Sunday. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. For ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Barbaritos has been committed to serving farm fresh food since February 20th, 2000. For starters, Barbaritos food is made with love, straight from the heart. Every morning we begin preparing our food from scratch, from chopping fresh tomatoes for sauces to mashing fresh avocados for guacamole. Barbaritos cares about food. From serving char-grilled grass-fed beef as well as hormone-free chicken breasts to the amazing tofu for our vegan friends. Farm fresh is more than just a motto. It's Barbaritos' mission.
Barberitos. We make it fresh, you make it yours.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistant, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
From the Vortex Springs to the Bear Paw Canoe Trail. From Shell Island to 30A. We're your home for live sports. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, we hope you guys have a great weekend. My back's hurting. We're gone. 104.3 ES. Oh, we got one more second.
We got one more.
All right, well, let's get into it, Ryan.
All right, last game of the weekend, it's kind of the nightcap on Sunday. It's the 5:30 game. For the 9th time, there's been a couple other teams that have played 9 times against each other in the playoffs. Shanahan said it's kind of a rivalry renewed. Big rivalry in the 80s and then the early 90s. You've got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Santa Clara, technically, to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, you guys know I'm a huge Niners fan. My dad, I was born in the Bay Area, only lived there for 5 years, but my dad was a big Niners fan, so in turn I am, and in turn the rest of my family is. I don't know about Beth. She claims to be a Bucs fan. But obviously this is a huge matchup. You've got the rookie Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, who you're kind of sitting and waiting for him to, look like a rookie, but so far, so good. He doesn't have to do anything crazy. He's got some good legs and mobility in the pocket. But, you've got a big matchup, left tackle Trent Williams against Micah Parsons. And you've got Bosa and all those, Fred Warner, it's just going to be a great football game. On paper, I think the Niners should win this game. It's only a 4-point spread right now, and it's bounced back between 4 and 3.5 the last few days. Last year they played Dallas in Dallas with Jimmy G with a torn shoulder, no Christian McCaffrey. Nick Bosa went out in the first half. So Niners are as healthy as can be. The Cowboys, they look good last week. I'll admit to say that now. The defense they were going against was a little bit different story than they're going to face this week against the Niners. Niners are kind of on a magical run, 11 games in a row. Brock Purdy's undefeated. I think that experience goes a long way. So if they can use their weapons, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, they are certainly loaded on offense. But so is Dallas. They've got Tony Pollard. I'm not even going to mention Zeke because Zeke's kind of taking the back seat to Tony Pollard. And then you've got CeeDee Lamb, and they signed T.Y. Hilton a couple weeks ago. So I think it comes down to how can Dak Prescott get on the move and make good throws, because the Niners secondary is definitely their weakness. Now, their linebacking core, I would say, is the best in the league. Their front four is very, very strong. They got Kinlaw back. They got Eric Armstead back. So they've got some really good guys up front. But Dak can move, and sometimes the Niners have a tendency to rush from the edge and leave that middle part open. So I think Dak's legs are going to play a big part in this game. I know a lot of Cowboys fans, so this week's been always a lot of fun. But in my opinion, I think the Niners are going to win. I think they're going to cover. I never like to be confident with your own team, but I cannot wait for 5:30 on Sunday.
I love this game for the 49ers. I mean, you add Christian McCaffrey to Deebo Samuel. I mean, you got weapons everywhere. You got a guy in Purdy that doesn't need all the recognition. He's come in. He just put his head down and went to work. That defense is the best in the league. I mean, let's be honest. They carried him through that transition that allowed Purdy to get comfortable. I think Dak's a good quarterback. I'm not one of these guys that hate on Dak, that thinks they need to replace him and all this, but this is a totally different animal than what he faced last week. We all knew Tampa Bay was kind of limping into the playoffs. They had a losing record, I believe. They might have finished 500. I can't remember.
I think they're 8-9. They won the division, yeah.
Brady
cannot move.
He couldn't move. I mean, their defense isn't what it was last year either. So I just think this is a great game for the 49ers. I expect them to put a big number on Dallas and put them away, maybe third quarter or early fourth.
they're definitely a second half team. I mean, you saw Seattle was leading 17-16 last week on that stupid play by Jimmy Ward, which gave them the field goal. I did see that during the wedding. And then they just, their defense is physical, and then their offense is physical. You got those guys, Kittle's blocking you, Debo's runs. Juice check. Oh, the best fullback in the league. He's fantastic.
Biggest player for me in this game is going to be Nick Bosa, and if he can get after Dak, I think it's going to be a long day. Nick Bosa is the best pass rusher. I'm not saying best defender because I think there's an argument for Michael Parsons being what he plays at linebacker, the responsibilities he has on top of rushing the passer, but as a pure pass rusher, there's nobody that does it better than Nick Bosa in the league right now, and I think it's going to be a long day for Dak. Dak hasn't played great under pressure at times, and this is on the road against the best defense, best front seven to me in the league. I just think it's a little too much to ask. They do have some great offensive weapons. CeeDee Lamb's a stud. I mean, that kid can play. Their running backs, Zeke Elliott's your second best running back. That's a pretty good stable of running backs. Pollard's played phenomenal, but what you're going against is a totally different animal than what you did last week, and I just think the 49ers are primed to win the NFC. Now, can they beat the AFC where you got a quarterback like Mahomes, Allen, or Burrow waiting?
Mahomes has been their kryptonite,
different
for sure.
animal, but I think they're the favorite to win the NFC, even over the Eagles.
I do want to get this in here. You can listen to the games this weekend right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Saturday, 3:30, Jaguars at the Chiefs. And then the late game, I think kickoff's like 7:15, Giants and the Eagles. Ryan, what time is the Dallas 49? You mentioned it again.
It's 5:30 on Sunday.
You can listen to it right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The early game, the Bills and the Bengals. And I like the Bills, but I want to see Joe Burrows win. I like him. I always have liked him. His dad was a high school coach. I just like that guy. Also, basketball on ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3. This week's game, TCU at Kansas. Tip-off is at 11:30 this Saturday right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Phil Cobb keeps texting me and wants me to do a segment, everything dealing with him. I don't think we should do it. We've talked about him. He didn't hear it. I think we go on.
That's right.
Tell him to go on Facebook and
you watch it on Facebook, Mr. Cobb. Jim, before we get out of here, I wanted you to get this in also. Are you through with the NFL?
Yeah. Yeah, go Niners.
Before we get what you have about FSU, I know we got some FSU people. Newbies loves FSU, and they want to hear it.
Here's who I looked up who Florida State's going to be playing for the next 5 years. Now, it's not their whole schedule. It's just some of the more well-known teams they're going to be playing. In 2024, they're going to be playing Memphis, at Notre Dame, and Charleston Southern. Those are their non-conference games. 2025, they'll be playing Tallahassee. They're playing Alabama in Tallahassee.
Oh, wow.
What year is that?
2025.
Ooh.
2026, they travel to Alabama, and they have Notre Dame at home. 2027, they have Georgia, the Dogs, who'll be working on a 7-peat, according to you, in Tallahassee. And then in 2028, they go to Georgia. And in 2030, I stopped looking. So about 7 years.
They're in the SEC by then. Yeah.
They will be.
They will be. They probably could be. So.
Yeah. I'm going to get one thing in here. Phil Cobb told me to bring this up, and it's highly intelligent by him. If he is the Big Ten on the chair, he's not going to hire the ACC commissioner. You look at the TV deal they got for the ACC is the worst of the Big Ten, SEC, and it went over the longest period of time. So I don't know what you guys think about it because you had mentioned his name, I believe.
Yeah. But
I don't know about him.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him. It's just he was the athletic director at Northwestern for like over 10 years. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we'll see.
You look at the TV contract he got for those guys compared to what the Big Ten did and the SEC did.
Right.
Not a very good look on him.
I do want to get this in. The George Mulligan tournament is going to start today. There's 42 teams out there at Bay High, one of the biggest wrestling tournaments. They are saying now that this is going to be the county championship for the wrestlers. They're going to give out county championships individually and for the team. So whoever wins this tournament, whatever kid finishes higher, this is going to be their county championship.
Are you going to be available for people to talk to?
Yeah, Saturday I will. Today I got to work the store.
What time will you be there Saturday?
I'll probably be there out in the morning about 9 a.m. until
have
the
a table
final
set
starts
up?
about 4. I'll have a table out there. We'll be sampling products, handing out cards, shaking babies, and kissing hands.
Yeah, go by and see.
At Bay High?
At Bay High.
Go by and talk to Jason about that. I do want to get one other thing in, too. I know we're getting run out of time. Again, we encourage you to go down to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill this Sunday for the NFL games and Saturday when the playoff games are going on. $5 pictures all day long. Buys drink. The next one's free. You can't beat it. Go try it. Great atmospheres. TVs everywhere. But try to be there. We're going to be there Sunday, so make sure you're there. How much time we got, Big Daddy? 30 seconds. Ryan, give a shout out to Bay Point Golf.
Yeah, come out and play golf. Come out and eat food. Come out and get lessons from our instructors. We've got everything going on right now.
Yeah, got good cloth, baby.
Good cloth.
Cloth and bingo.
It's all about the cloth.
All
Stay tuned for
all
bingo.
All missing there is Phil Cobb. You think we get Phil to play golf?
He might. I don't know. We'll see.
Jason, real quick, Max Fit.
Max Fit, come out, see us. We're doing meal plans. We got the best supplements. We got an InBody 570 to track your results. So come see us in Pier Park North next to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, Brant Mail Services. Get a little shout out. No? Okay.
He's giving that up.
Magic Mike. Yeah, Magic Mike. There you go.
Get your back better.
Hey, you guys have a great weekend. Ryan, tell the family who said hi. Jason, I'll see you soon. Jim Bob, I'll see you Tuesday. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
Look, a lot of people like, how in the world